Gokigenyo everyone, the Starlight Let's Player is here, and welcome to part 2 of First Pretty Cure Asobi collection. So we completed the donut minigame last time, so now we're gonna be doing a drawing minigame, which you can only do with Inori's route. And I gotta be honest, this minigame is way worse than the donut sequence. So at least with the donuts, sequence, you're just pretty much decorating donuts. However, in this scenario, you're basically drawing whatever picture you want. So you have a choice between love, cure peach, chiffon, or tart. And I chose the easiest one, which was tart. And even then, it will still take a long time for me to like completely draw this damn thing. Cause like, I will say this took me like over 6 minutes, not counting the intro, but it took me 6 minutes to fucking to actually to properly draw this. Like they actually give you the colors that are required to basically color out tart. Like, it's not really drawing, it's basically just coloring. So you're basically just coloring a page off of a coloring book. So that's what I see it how it is. You have three different sizable crayons that you can use in order to draw. So you can actually do that. But I will say this: if you're doing this on a stylus, maybe it can probably take you maybe 2 to 3 minutes to complete. Because let me tell you, as an artist myself, whenever I'm drawing something out of whenever I'm actually sketching something, it will probably take me an hour or two just to get done. Because I want the drawing to look really good. I want it to have detail. I want it to have good shadow and all that stuff. Because I haven't told you, but back in 4th grade, I used to draw. I used to start drawing back at the age of 10 or 11 years old. So I started drawing at an early age. I had no help whatsoever. Then I started getting better with my drawing, and I used to at certain times I used to trace over printed pictures that I used to print out. So my mom had a printer, and I would basically just start printing out certain things. I used to print out some Dragon Ball Z images, and I would just trace over them. But as I started getting better, I would usually just, instead of tracing them, I would usually just start I would pull up a picture off of my phone or maybe off my laptop, and I would essentially just use that to draw. So basically, that's what I would probably start doing. So instead of actually tracing, I'm just drawing a certain image that I see on a computer screen or something like that. That's pretty much how I usually does it. So, but as time went on, as I gotten better, during my high school years, I started drawing a bunch of magical anime type of stuff. I used to draw Sailor Moon. That's essentially me, how I was able to get that was me getting into the Sailor Moon franchise when I was maybe 15 years old, in my first year of high school. I started drawing Sailor Moon, not just Sailor Moon, but I also started drawing other certain characters. I also drew Nana. I forgot Nina. Yeah, I think Nina Yamada. I can't remember her name, but she was from Mama Said Lollipop. I actually drew her, and I also started drawing Pretty Cure as well. So I started drawing a bunch of Pretty Cure. Drawing a bunch of Pretty Cure back when I was in high school. So and to this day, I still have my drawings. I still have all my drawing books and so all that stuff. So, and I wanted to keep those as a because as a way to show, because I actually cherish them a bit. So So yeah, and this year, like, yeah, probably this year, this is where I started like going into digital drawing. So, like, you know those characters that you saw like in some of my videos that I made, like those were all made by me, not the not the Cure Starlight one, because like I said, like, because that was actually made by someone who was a fan of my channel. So they reached out to me on I reached out on Instagram. I asked them if I asked her if she can like create this OC, which you probably saw in my of my actual Cure Starlight, which you actually saw in some of my thumbnails. Oh, by the way, if you want to make a fan art of that, you can. But yeah, I asked her to do that, and I really appreciate it, and that's when I started using that like a lot more throughout. I started using that a lot more throughout 2019, 2020, and this year 2021. So I started using those. So, but so yeah, that's why I started. I wanted to like go into digital drawing. I wanted to like make my own digital art. And at the time I'm starting to improve. I still want to get a brand new digital tablet with an actual monitor, an actual screen that I can use instead of like using the Wacom drawing pad, which is not bad, but I would prefer drawing using a screen so that it can be way easier for me. But yeah, I'm sorry if I'm like talking about this, but like I said, this took me 6 minutes to complete, to like fully like color this damn thing. If I was using a stylus on a Nintendo DS, it would be a much different story. It would probably take me like 2 to 3 minutes to complete. But the fact that this took me this long, 6 minutes, just don't do this on the emulator. I'm telling you right now, this game is not really playable on an emulator. If anything, I would say it's more playable on an actual DS. So yeah. Yeah, that was the coloring minigame you have to complete. It doesn't matter how bad, it doesn't really matter how bad you make it, as long as you like make it like the actual, as long as you make it like the actual oh god. Okay. As long as you make it like the actual picture itself, it'll be fine. But yeah, as you see, we're only playable as Love, Miki, and Inori. There is a fourth playable character, and that's Setsuna, and we're gonna be going into her. So yeah, at certain points, you'll be facing off against a Nakawameke. It can be controlled by either East, Western, or Solar. And I will say like the four villains, they're actually based off the direction. So East is actually East. Solar is actually South. Western is West, and North, who's not really in the game, she's North. So they're basically the four directions, which is actually pretty unique. But anyway, this is actually one of the only minigame collections that actually has an actual fight against the MOTW. So here's what you essentially have to do. Like, they'll have a certain, like, when it's your turn to attack, they'll have these symbols, and you have to tap on them in order to attack. If you tap on all of them, you'll have your chance to attack, just like I did. And essentially, once you drain the Nakawamake's health, you'll be given a chance. You'll be given a chance in order to like shoot your you'll be given a chance to shoot your special attack. So for example, I just defeated it, and what I'm gonna be using, Q Peach is gonna be using her Love Sunshine in order to purify the monster. And by the way, there's two ways to unlock Setsuna. One is by defeating her once or how many times, and the other method is you have to collect 100 clover coins. So essentially, She can be unlockable, but in two different ways. So when you see the cutscene pull up, that's you actually unlocking her. But yeah, you can only hold a total of 100 clover coins, by the way. So each cup actually holds 20 clover coins, and you can't collect more than 100. So yeah.
お前が羨ましいと思った。やっぱりイースじゃない、刹那だったんだ。私はピュアパッションよ。
So yeah, you just gotta beat her either once or twice, and you essentially unlock her. She'll essentially But yeah, spoilers if you haven't really watched Fresh Pretty Cure, but spoiler warning. Uh, Essentially during the first half of the story, at the near end of the first half, uh, East actually reveals herself. East actually reveals herself as the bad guy in front of Cure Peach. So when Peach found out about this, she essentially felt really depressed at the point because she was really good friends with the person. She was really good friends with Setsuna, who was being with East, who was pretending to be Setsuna. But when finding out the whole truth, even after that, she still wanted to. She still wanted to save East. She still wanted her to become a good guy. So she's essentially like Naruto, in the Naruto anime where Naruto wanted to bring Sasuke back because Sasuke was like, but except the only difference is that East was pure evil at the start. Sasuke, however, wasn't. All he wanted was revenge, and he'll do anything he was essentially like driven to do anything he can to get revenge, even at the cost of his own life. So he essentially joined Orochimaru in order for him to gain the ultimate power to defeat Itachi. Naruto was against that, and the two of them fought and clashed. The same pretty much happened with East and Cure Peach, and I like how like both environments are pretty like similar. Where that's like one thing. Like the fight between East and Cure Peach pretty much reminded me of the final fight in the Hidden Valley between Naruto and Naruto and Second State Curse Mark Sasuke. So those fight, if you're a fan of both Naruto and Pretty Cure, you should know that these two fights are pretty much similar to each other, and I actually pretty much like that. I kind of wish Fresh Pretty Cure, not just Fresh but Hard Catch and Sweet. I kind of wish those games pretty much had like a story driven around them. These games don't really have a story, and it's a bit unfortunate. They were just minigame collections. I kind of wish there would have been like a more fighting game type of story. Like how Butarawa, Splash Star, and Yes Pretty Cure 5, Go-Go pretty much did it. I kind of wish there were like those games. Except I kind of wish they would like just tell the exact story of how it happened in the anime itself. That's what I wish that would have happened, because I would say this cutscene where we see East transition into Setsuna, aka Compassion, that was pretty. I say that was pretty disappointing, especially due to the fact that Cure Passion, without a doubt, is my favorite cure in Fresh Pretty Cure, with Cure Peach being my second favorite. So that was a bit unfortunate, though. And I kind of wish this game could have been a bit more justice. I'm gonna be honest, it's not really a terrible minigame collection, but it's just there. So if you're really bored and you just want to do something in order to like pass the time, I guess you can probably play this, but I pretty much wouldn't recommend this enough. Not enough, but I wouldn't recommend this a lot. But yeah, this is part 2. We finally unlocked Setsuna, so yeah, stick around as we get into more minigames in this collection. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, by all means, give it a like. And if you want to see more of this content, be sure to hit the subscribe button and also turn those notification bells on as well. Also, if you want, you can also check out my 2 Twitter accounts. The first one being Kill Starlight, aka Starzy, and the second one being Starzy, the Pretty Cure veteran. both of these will be in the description below. And you can also check out my Discord as well if you want to join in to talk about Pretty Cure and Neptunia and all that stuff. But yeah, that's all that said. Until then, this is the Starlight Let's Player signing out. As always, Goku Genyo, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Tell me what you want, tell me what you need. She gon' party like she in the swinging 70s. Now I'm riding through the sunset just like I'm a boss. We be riding all for the night. Girl, let's take it slow. Just wanna make sure that you're comfortable. Call you my princess, I'm your prince. Just to let you know, you're such a hottie, you could be in a fashion show. Girl, let's take it slow.